Hi everyone, welcome back to my food diary. Today I want to show you how I made this yummy delicious cow leg stew, and I added intestine. Let me confess. So I had this with rice and I'd like to share with you. First of all, I boiled my cow leg. I added onion, bay leaf, and a little potash just to soften the meat faster. I added hot water and I covered and allowed to boil for about 35 minutes. And then I just wanted to boil a little, then extract the water because I don't want so much oil in my food, especially meat oil. And I also didn't want to prepare it just like that because I hate the smell of fresh meat, of raw meat. So I had to. Well, now I've added the potash water. You can see the sand remaining inside. That's why you should always soak your potash and sieve, or just allow the sand to settle under. This meat has boiled for about 35 minutes now, so I'm going to take it out of this water and then add fresh water, after which I'll add my spices. I just had to taste. So I add my spices and seasoning and then boil properly for another, let's say another 30 minutes. The entire time for preparation of this meal will be up to 2 to 3 hours. So you can see I'm adding it back to the pot and adding my seasoning and spices. Then I'll boil again. I still don't understand why my videos are so close to the camera. I've tried to edit. I'm still learning this editing thing, but with time I know I will get used to it. So I've added that's thyme, I've added curry, I've added my seasoning cube, onion. This is ginger and garlic paste. I love ginger and garlic. So I'm going to add water now and allow it to boil for another 30 minutes. After which we'll now prepare the stew. My meat is ready now. I still had to taste and check if it's soft enough. I was satisfied with the texture. Like I said, I added intestine. So at this point I want to add, it was pre-boiled anyway, but I want the taste to unify. So I mixed them together and covered just for it to soften up a little bit and for the taste to unify before taking it off the fire. And I didn't let it stay for longer because the intestine was already soft and this meat is also tender already, so there was no point. Now I want to wash my tomatoes. I had my peppers, and for this particular stew the pepper was too much. It was very harsh but still nice. And all this other pepper, the bell pepper, they were sweet, not pepperish. It was the atarudo that was pepperish, very harsh. I had to clean up a little, and just to make the work easy for the blender I decided to dice and not just put directly, because the blender was a small one. Didn't want to stress it too much, so I had to reduce the stress, so that it blends faster. So I blended and this is oil that I have used to fry meat before. I won't let it waste, so I said to use it. Vegetable oil, I added red oil. I used the two mixture of oil. So I allowed the oil to heat up, not for too long though. I bleached it a little and then put the blended tomatoes inside, and I continued to stir. I allowed it to fry for almost 40 minutes. I didn't remember to check the time for this frying, but I'm sure it's up to 40 minutes. So you keep stirring to the bottom so that the stew doesn't get burned. So I stirred at intervals, and when I had to check to see if it was dry enough, because I wanted the water level to be very low. So I allowed it to fry for a little bit. I checked and I said, okay, I'll leave it for a while. And then when I saw that it was fried enough to the level, I started adding my seasoning, and I didn't add much spices again because there is already spice in the meat, and I don't want to lose that traditional taste of the stew, the local taste. So I added my boiled meat, and still you have to check for taste, salt, seasoning, and see if you're satisfied. So I checked. I had to clean up a little because the tomatoes was just boiling everywhere. Yeah, so I kept stirring to make sure that it doesn't get burnt under. At this point, the stew was almost ready. You can see how lovely it's looking. And I didn't use the onion to fry the oil because I don't want to dim the shine to remove the redness from the stew. I wanted to see the lovely face. You can see how lovely this stew is, and it's as yummy as it looks. And we had it with rice. It was so yummy. I used the banana to reduce the hotness of the meal, and guys, I really loved it. I enjoyed the meal, and I know you will enjoy it. So try this recipe and let me know. Thanks for watching. It was actually yum. Thank you. Bye.